All right, welcome back everyone to lesson number 3 on creative real estate investing. We've already covered about your mindset as well as the language that we all use and the beliefs that we've had with respect to investing in real estate. So now we're going to talk about how to get creative. Now, creativity actually takes place on two different levels. It takes place on the conscious level and the subconscious level. And as you can see in the diagram to the right, the conscious mind is actually the smaller percentage of your mind. Some people claim it's even smaller than 10%. But either way, you can see that the conscious mind is very small in relationship to the subconscious mind. So let's take a look at the conscious mind first. So consciously, it begins by being aware that there are always different perspectives and views of a problem or challenge. So we talked about this in an earlier lesson when we looked at the picture of that old lady or the young lady, whichever way you were looking at it. There's always more than one way to look at a challenge or an opportunity. You want to be open to learning about other perspectives and not only expect that there are other perspectives, but start looking for those other perspectives as well. And you also need to stop the need to have to be right. And I'm not suggesting that you, the person listening here right now, have that particular need, but I think that we all have a certain amount of need of wanting to be right when we are arguing, and that's okay as long as you are open to hearing the other person's perspective and realizing that you could both be right. So you need to realize your ignorance as well, meaning that you don't know everything. And the reality is you don't know what you don't know. So you want to always keep your mind open to new opportunities, new perspectives. Here we have Alvin Toffler saying that the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So again, that means keeping an open mind so that you are willing to dismiss some of your old ideas, beliefs, be willing to unlearn those and learn new beliefs, new ideas and concepts. With respect to your subconscious, when I speak to live events about this particular topic, I will quite often ask the audience the question, do you think? Now everybody in the room is going to say, well, of course I think. Then I'll follow it up with the next statement. Or do you simply react? And this is when people get this confused look on their face because everybody believes they are thinking, but in reality, we operate every day through reactions. Even when somebody asks us a question, 9 times out of 10, we know the answer to their question, so we simply answer it. We're not thinking, we're reacting. When you get up in the morning, you've got your habits that you follow. You usually, when you're putting your pants on, you put the same leg in every day first. When you're shaving, for myself, I always shave from the right-hand side first. You're constantly reacting. So that's not thinking. There's a big difference. Now, Bob Proctor says that 2% of the people think, 3% of the people think they think, and 95% of the people would rather die than think. Now, I can't say that those percentages are accurate. However, I would agree that very few people actually do think. Now, Henry Ford has the statement that thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few people actually engage in it. And the reality is, to truly think requires time, energy, and effort. And when you actually spend time focusing and thinking, it can be exhausting. So how do you actually think? Well, have you ever had the experience when you're sleeping at night, you wake up with this wonderful idea? It could be an idea, brand new idea, or it could be the solution to the challenge that you had the previous day. Or it might be while you're showering, you've got that aha moment, you've got the $1 million idea. And by the time you get out of the shower, get dried off and dressed, that idea is gone. Well, the reason that you're getting these ideas or answers to the solutions to your challenges is because your subconscious mind is now activated in this relaxed state. So you need to realize that your mind never actually stops. When you're sleeping, when you're relaxing, the mind is constantly active. The difference is that during our conscious time, while we're awake, we're focusing on the conscious mind, and we're not allowing the subconscious mind to participate in finding solutions to problems and challenges. And that's why you don't get these wonderful ideas during the course of the day. You get them while you're in a relaxed state or sleeping. So how do you come up with some new ideas? Well, you simply ask, how can I? And then you add some thinking time to that, and you get the new ideas. So what you need to do is you need to create a quiet zone, an area that you will not be disturbed. I mentioned that Henry Ford mentioned that thinking was so difficult. Well, he knows that because he actually created thinking time every day. He would go to his office, close the door. His receptionist knew not to bother him for a certain period of time. He unplugged his phone so that the phone wouldn't ring, and he would have 0 interruptions. During that time, then, he would take a pen and paper and place it to the side, and he would ask himself a question. And he would focus on that one question. He would then clear his mind as if he was in a meditative state. And as other thoughts or ideas would enter his mind, if the idea or thought was of importance, he would very quickly jot it down. Otherwise, he would just say, move on and get back to the question that he asked initially, and put his allow his subconscious mind the opportunity to solve that. Now, if you don't have any questions at all, no challenges that you're trying to solve, I would still recommend that you do this thinking exercise, because it's a great opportunity for you to think about your day, your week, or your year, or the vision that you've created earlier on in the lessons. So this is your thinking time. This is where all the new ideas are going to come forth. It can be a bit of a challenge to do this initially. I know for myself, when I first tried to do it, I kept allowing all of the thoughts, the stray thoughts that were coming into my mind, to distract me. Eventually, I got to the point where I was able to get into this zone, you might say, very, very quickly. Like within a couple minutes, I can get into that zone, and I could be in this zone for 10 or 15 minutes. And when I do this on a consistent basis, the ideas and the solutions that I would come up with are phenomenal. So highly recommend that you do that. Now, for many people, what I've discovered is there's a lot of common challenges that I hear from all of these people. So for example, here's a few of them, not limited to these, but a few of them. No cash for a down payment. I've got bad credit. My score is under 630. I've got no job right now, or I'm between jobs, therefore no income. I can't qualify for a mortgage, therefore I can't invest in real estate. I have no contacts. I'm new to the country. Or none of my family have any money. There's no deals out there. I don't know how to find any deals. I don't have any money or access to any money for repairs. These are all common challenges. What I want you to do from now on is you don't look at these as challenges, but you look at them rather as opportunities. Because other people's challenges can become your opportunities. You become the problem solver. The more problems you can solve, the more money you will make. Get excited for these problems. So let's take a look at some very high-level solutions for all of these common opportunities. We'll take a look at no cash for a down payment first. Well, quite simply, you can joint venture with partners who will supply the down payment for you. So they bring all the cash to the table. You bring the opportunity and do all the work, and you split the deal 50-50 or 40-60, 30-70, whatever the split is. Something is better than nothing. You can also use your own line of credit. People don't realize that their line of credit is not their money. It's the bank's money, and it's secured against your assets. So you can use your own line of credit if you have access to one, or you can use other people's money, such as their lines of credit as well. You can also get a vendor take-back mortgage from the person selling the property, where they actually become the bank and do the financing. So these are just some of the solutions to the common opportunity of not having any cash for the down payment. Now we'll talk about using other people's money. I just want to share this quick story as an example for you. Kathy and Bob are a couple that I've known for many, many years. They've seen what I've been doing with respect to investing, but they don't have the interest or skill set to be active investors themselves, but they're always envious of our lifestyle and what we're doing. So I asked if they'd be interested in investing one day, and they said no. And then I approached it differently. I said, well, would you be interested in if I was to give you a free week holiday, all inclusive every year, plus I'll give you some money for your RSPs, for your investments, for your retirements? Well, I think if you ask that question to anybody, they'd be silly to say, well, no, I don't want that. So of course they were excited about the idea of me giving that to them, but of course they wanted to know how this is going to work. So I started to explain to them that they have a house with an equity of at least $300,000 sitting there. So what they would need to do is they would need to go to the bank and create a line of credit against their house at a cost of 4% interest. They would then take $100,000, which is going to cost them $4,000 annually. Now they've got this $100,000, which they then lend to me. So I'm going to borrow it from them at 10% interest, and I'm going to pay them $10,000 annually. Now, what that means for Kathy and Bob is that they're going to make $6,000 in the difference, because I'm paying them $10,000, they have to pay the bank $4,000, they get to keep $6,000. That's more than enough cash to go on a 1 week all-inclusive holiday with money left over to put into their retirement fund. So, what's Kathy and Bob's return on their investment now? Well, they're making $6,000 on a $100,000 investment, which is 6% return. That's what that's what the vast majority of people believe when I ask this question. But what is it really? What is it that they're actually investing? They're making $6,000, but how much money have they actually invested? That $100,000 wasn't theirs. It was the bank's money secured against their property. So realistically, they haven't invested anything, yet they're making $6,000. So when you do the math, it comes out as zero, which is actually an infinite return on their investment. So it's just a very quick example of how you can turn a challenge into an opportunity for other people as well. All right, so then we've got bad credit or no income. Again, it's joint ventures without ownership. So if you can't be involved in the transaction because of your bad credit and or lack of income, then you can still enter into a joint venture partnership with somebody, but you don't have any ownership position. You're not on title. You can also participate in assignments, or you can also do assignments where you can participate in options. Got ahead of myself there. Participate in options, and lease options, sandwich lease options, etc. Or you can do assignments where you actually put a property under contract with no intention of closing on it yourself, and then turning around, assigning that contract and receiving payment for that contract to another investor. So there's lots of ways to participate and make money in real estate regardless of your income position or your credit position. No contacts. This one's a bit of a pet peeve for myself because so many people claim, well, I don't know anybody with money. Well, the reality is we all know people with money. We just don't realize that they have money. So many people have money that money is a very sheltered conversation. People don't like to talk about money. They don't like to divulge how much money they actually have. But the reality is everybody has a certain amount of money, or they know somebody who has a certain amount of money. So what you want to do is take a look at your circle of influence. So you're going to focus on the people closest to you. What you're going to do is you're going to create an opportunity list. You're going to list everybody you know. And then you're going to decide, well, how much money do I actually need? You're going to then identify these individuals as to which ones you think have the most money. And you're going to educate them. You're never going to ask them for money. You're just going to simply educate them as to what it is you're actually doing and present some opportunities. If they're interested, they're going to approach you. And you're going to do this through barbecues. You're going to do it through presentations. You're going to do it through Cash Flow 101. It could be lending them some books to read. It could be your newsletters that you create. We'll get into this in much more detail later, but there's all kinds of ways that you can communicate and educate these individuals in order to become investors with you. My general rule of thumb is the more people you can educate, then the higher the odds are you're going to find investors. And for those who do not become your investors, you're doing a good deed by simply educating them. All right, oh, there's no deals out there. I can never find any deals. Well, the obvious location is going to be through your local MLS or MLX. And then next one is going to be with realtors. Now, these are definitely where most people will start looking, but these are not where I have found the best deals historically. The best deals I've found have been through investment clubs, referrals, through advertising and my own marketing, farming neighborhoods, letter campaign, my e-zines, etc. Simply getting out there in the community and start looking for the deals. No cash for repairs. Well, here again is where you can leverage other people's money, especially RSPs. I love investing other people's investment retirement funds. Whether it be in Canada, it's the RSPs. In the US market, it's the 401s. So using their funds registered against your properties allows you to access the equity in your property to then do any repairs on the property if you need to. Understanding how the appraisal business works so that it's a very interesting game. Again, I'm going to get into appraisals much more detail later on, but understanding how the appraisal business works will greatly impact how much access to equity you can have. Structuring your deals creatively so that you can get using other people's money, better takebacks, etc. Even though you have to use high interest, that's okay. Do the renovation as quickly as possible, then refinancing it. So those are some solutions for some of the challenges, or as I say now, opportunities that we're going to be exploring in much more detail moving forward. So that's the end of this particular lesson. In our next module, we're going to be looking at building your creative dream team, which includes your real estate agent, your lawyer, your appraiser, your accountant, and doing some marketing as well. So we'll focus one lesson on each of those topics. It's extremely important that you've got the right real estate agent working for you, or if you can't find the right agent working for you, at least understand how a real estate agent operates so that you can work with that particular real estate agent. Same thing with the lawyer. You need to make sure that you're using the right lawyer who understands what it is you're trying to achieve. The appraiser I talked about earlier already. We'll get into more detail. An accountant, again, you want to make sure you have the right accountant because not all accountants are the same. And then marketing is a big one, how to find those deals. So a little bit of homework for you for Module 1. This covers all 3 lessons. What I strongly encourage you to do is go back and take a look at your beliefs. Reflect on what your beliefs are or what they have been and start to challenge yourself. Definitely be honest with yourself. It's no good lying to yourself because that's what you've been doing for all the years up until now. You have to stop lying to yourself and face the reality. That's when I started to realize huge change in my life, is when I started to challenge my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and it's tough, but it's well worth the effort. So be honest with yourself. Do you believe that rich people are greedy? You need to make money to make money. You need money to make money. People are lucky. A lot of people say, well, I'm lucky because I've got so much real estate behind me now. True, I do have a lot of real estate behind me now, but I started off with less than $10,000 in my pocket. So I wasn't born with a silver spoon. Luck is when you are, opportunity meets preparedness. So you need to get yourself prepared and start looking for those deals yourself. Create your list with a friend and partner. Discuss with your friend and partner and challenge each other. Have an accountability partner. So as you start to relive some of your beliefs or your language, your accountability partner will challenge you on it and call you out on it. So that goes with your language. Find that accountability partner. Start to focus on the term, how can I? And so if you ever hear yourself or you hear your partner say, well, I can't, challenge them. create that opportunity list. Create a list with at least 50 names of people you know. They could be family, friends, co-workers, anybody, and just give your best guess as to how much cash they might have, and then start to educate them. And just remember, the more people you educate, the more money you're going to make, the more people you're going to help. It's just like a farmer planting seeds. You just keep planting seeds, and eventually something's going to pop up out of the ground. All right, so that's it for this lesson and this module. So we will be following this up with the live Q&A call where we will review all 3 lessons. If you are able to attend the call, great. You can ask your questions during the call. If you're not able to attend the call live, send your question in and I will answer it during the call for the benefit of everybody else. If you're joining the program after the live call has already taken place, please feel free to email me at kbeaton@arcarealestate.ca. And keep in mind that I will be hosting more live Q&A calls, webinars in the future as well. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you for module number 2.